Greetings, greetings, fellow inmates. Greetings, fellow inmates. How's everyone doing? I'm coughing already. That's not a good sign, is it? Everybody okay? Anybody out there? Not sure what's happening just yet. Um, just have a little read of the paper while I wait to see if people will be turning up. You never know. You never know. Things could happen, possibly. Let's just see what we've got here. Ooh, all very nice. What is going on here? Just take my time. Just bear with me while I go and sort this out. We are now. We're now getting there, I think. Got a really funny thing in my throat. I don't think it's a virus. I think it's more just I put the heater on when I sat down. Not the best thing I've ever done. So what's happening? What's happening with everyone? Anybody out there? Anybody seeing me? See what we get. Ah, that's interesting. Hmm. Ah, Vicky. Right, Vicky, you can help me here. Vicky Harris. Can you tell me? There you go. Now we're working. Finally, finally. Laura, first one up, mate. Thank you for coming along. A little bit awkward. Just turn that volume down. It's all a bit hit and miss, really, isn't it? All a bit amorous. Steph, you've turned up. Welcome. Craig, nice. Everyone's coming along. Steve, good for you to join me. Don't worry, downstairs in my front room, my producer and director, who's watching right now, is going to message me in a second saying your hair looks messy or whatever. Are we all having a good day? Hang on. Val, you've joined. Look, I was just about to message you back, Val. Just about to message you back to tell you what to do. Tell you to come and stand at the gate. Welcome along to another night. We all survive the weekend? How was everyone's weekend? Anyone got any tips or suggestions for me? Just seeing this news that Boris isn't well. That's not good, is it? Regardless of what you think of the guy, you know, it's not a nice thing for anyone to go through, I don't think. So, I guess it makes it real now, doesn't it? How long ago was it that he was shaking hands with everyone and saying, well, at some stage, we're going to have to tell our elderly people and that might time to say goodbye. I bet he didn't think it was going to be him, did he? Is that too far? Is that too far early to say? Double O Durkin in the house. Thank you for turning up. Feel safe now. Don't need no more ninja moves. It's very sad about Boris Dawn. Very sad. And wishing him all the best. I think he's gone down to ITU now. So regardless, like I say, of your politics, that's someone's dad. Well, quite a few people's dad, really, isn't it? Sorry. But, it is ultimately. And we all know that it just shows that it's real. This stuff is real now. Of course, our very own Lenny just came out of hospital yesterday, so he pulled through, and he's a slob. Let's be honest, Len. If you're out there, you know what I'm saying. So if he pulled through, I'm sure there's hope for everyone. It's just tough times. How's everyone's weekend been? Are you all been okay? Are we suffering, or are we benefiting from this isolation? Anyone go to barbecues yesterday or anything good? Hello, Hugh. Nice of you to join me. We're still doing our 5K walks. I'm not going to lie. We're getting to the stage now where I'm looking at her when I'm tying up my laces and thinking, is you putting me through this? And then she's looking at me thinking, yeah, it's you. I don't even want to do this. But we can now manage 5K easily. We did nearly 7 yesterday, but then we didn't speak to each other for about an hour afterwards in sheer disgust that she made me do it. I made her do it. So yeah, tough. What are we all doing? Yes, 7K. It's just a long. I don't even know how I type that. Look, my hands are here. I think someone's got hold of my internet access. sticky back plastic in the house. Joe, I was waiting for you and Marcus to turn up before I started any of the funnies, all right? So, Darren, nice. I actually spoke to Darren as I did my walk the other day. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? When you've got people that are there for you, we're all reaching out to each other. I had a little chat with Dan as I was walking along. So that was all really nice. Yeah, I think Sean Durkin there, for those of you not sure who he is. Very good point. The British Prime Minister is now in intensive care. That just shows how big this thing is. It's just amazing. But, you know, the rest of us, we just got to keep going, haven't we? Got to keep going. Anyone got any great tips that they are doing or that's helping them get through? Please do let me know. Yeah, you may notice I've had my hair done. Oh, yeah. My Dawny, you weren't here, mate. So I had to trust Tasha to change the colour of my hair because she decided that we were going to fill our time by colouring each other's hair, which is, guys, you know that is a big risk for a man to go near a woman's hair, especially to colour it. I've been so scared all my life. It's dreadful. But then to make things worse, she's gone out and bought hairdressing scissors, or she's ordered them over the internet. So we now, next time you see me, I could be bald. It could get really, really bad, I'm not going to lie. But hey ho, how are we finding this social isolation? Steve McCann has just joined us. Thank you for coming on, Steve. We were talking earlier today, me and Steve, and he was asking in that kind of husky Scottish voice of his, how do you find in social isolation, John? Well, this is London, mate. We don't talk to each other anyway, do we? We just, obviously, Joe in the Midlands, is, everyone's friendly in Birmingham. Sorry, not Birmingham. In Dudley, in Lichfield. But yeah, so it's not really that difficult not talking to each other. But what I really want people to please help me with, help me. Shall we not just walk on the left? If we all agree to walk on the left, because there's going to be a fight eventually, because I'm walking on the left, the man's coming towards me on his right, and you're like, what are you doing? You know, get yourself off of my side of the road. So walking single file is the way to do it. If you're walking in a group stretched out, what are you, the Warriors? Is this like a 1980s remake of a film or something? Why are you walking stretched across? How many kids you got? I'm looking at some men walking towards me. I want to say to them, mate, that is not your kid. Come on, that one maybe, but the other two, they're not. No, they're not yours. They're not yours. You took your eye off it while you've been working. So I've had a lot of friend requests, funny enough, since Friday. Very bizarre, and it seems to break into three areas. Women in Eastern Europe who want to send me sexy love pictures. You want to make sure your picture of my beautiful body, DM me. And then there's conspiracy theorists, obviously, or real people, as I prefer to call them. And then, of course, we've got like some comics. So hello to everyone. Especially for the people who want to show me pictures of sexy love bodies. All very nice. I'm going to stop there. Susie Britell, Suze, mate, it's America is in the house. I can't believe. It must be like nearly 9 o'clock in the morning in, where are you, San Diego, something like that, LA? Lee Barnett, just up the road, and obviously my Susanna, my second longest term friend, obviously my longest term friend. He can't be bothered to come listen to me, but Susanna, she does turn up. Hugh, very good point. Daily Mail readers, why would they walk on the left? They should want to walk on the right. Okay, right. We'll keep it light, Hugh. Don't worry, mate. We'll keep it light. It is really frustrating, though. Is anyone going out for walks? What are you doing? Do you bring water with you? Do you bring jumpers? What's the etiquette? Walking etiquette. Hello from Seattle. What are you doing in Seattle, Suze? You was in San Diego, San Francisco. If Kiki comes on, I'll put you two in touch. Just obviously little shout outs while we wait for everyone to join. Andrew O'Neill, one of the nicest human beings on the planet. And if ever you're going to give someone a ride in your car, he's the man to have. When I said, I should have thought of that. Obviously, Hugh is going to pick up on the fact I said ride in my car. But he brings the best sweets, Andrew O'Neill, best sweets and crisps. And even if he's got potato chips, Suze, even if he's got some left over or a spare bag, he just leaves them in the car for the rest of the journey. So those of you who've been looking at my Facebook page this week will know I have announced my hero of the week, and Rhiannon has turned up. Rhiannon stuck in a one-bedroom flat, but with Super Lee. Right now, all you men out there, when this self-isolation ends, we're going to go around to Rhiannon's house, give Lee a kicking, because he's making us all look bad. Because this man has been to the ends of the earth and back, and is just amazing. But he's setting the bar too high for the rest of us. So there you go. Dana, nice of you to join us. So we've got Canadians, we've got Americans, we've got an Australian turn up. G'day. Just waiting for Grenada to come and join us, and then we can really kick off. Darren, I'm going out for a wheelchair ride. Nice one, Darren. That's it. Let's just keep this light, mate. Keep this as light as we can. So how are we all coping with it anyway? Are we still doing the breathing? I said on Friday night that it's important that we realise that these are difficult times that we're in. Our bodies are designed for fight or flee. Gray Rushbrook's turn up now, so I've got to really know what I'm talking about. We've got to understand our bodies are going to fight or we're going to flee. We've got this little amygdala in our brain that is all the time going, do I need to fight them or do I need to run away? So with that in mind, understand we're all getting tense. We're all getting a bit snappy with our partners or with our kids or with people on the phone, okay? Apart from Lee, because he's Superman. So what do? It's do the breathing, okay? When you're feeling stressed, 2 things you can do when you feel stressed, okay? Joe O'Brien, Auckland, mate, thank you so much for coming along. You're there the furthest person away. Eddie Connor's now turned up. Susanna, you are now no longer my oldest friend on here. My Eddie, we've been friends since we were 10. This guy is a very important man to me. Eddie, we're just talking about ways to calm yourself if you get stressed. You've got 2 things you can do. You do it the old school Irish way that I was brought up with, or you do it the middle class British way that I've become. We'll start with the British way. What you do is you're feeling a bit tense. You take a breath and you breathe out twice as long as you breathe in. So you take, say, 3 breaths. You know, that's not going to do anything. If you breathe in and breathe out twice as long, there you go. Obviously, the Irish way was if you're feeling stressed, you count to 10. And then when you get to about 7, you just punch them in the face. They're not expecting it. For the ladies out there, yeah, I can hold my breath for quite some time. But just remember that we're all going to get stressed. Charlie Byers has turned up and Mike Ryan. God, look at it. Caroline, how you doing? Last time I saw you were getting drunk, dressed as a World War II air warden. Wow. Ellie, all the talent in this box as people start to join. None of my kids are here yet though. What's going on? What are they doing? Hey? That's what I want to know. So we're getting stressed. What are we doing? Are we remembering that we should now really be out of the fear zone? Do you remember I talked to you on Friday? We started off with the fear zone. We just grab everything. Our amygdala's going, come on, we're going to die here. We need toilet paper. We need noodles. We need food. Or we need everything we get our hands on. Rawr. Now what's happened? The shops or stores for our American cousins, the shops and stores, the shelves are full. So we didn't need to panic buy, did we? No. Now some of us got 30 packets of noodles in our cupboard that neither I eat nor did she eat, but she saw other people buying them, so she thought she would buy some. Bearing in mind our first ever panic buy, she went to the shop, came back 2 hours later with 5 bottles of Prosecco and some scented candles. There you go. Johnny Lucas, mate, Nashville, Tennessee. We've got the great singing sensation of Johnny Lucas. But Pete is a very good man. For those of you interested in social conscious, Verity, thank you for coming along as well. Kieran, Vince, there's loads of people. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming to listen to my nonsense. So we're going to take a little minute just to have a little think about what is it that's winding us up the most. Type your comments in, put your questions in there. Let's have a little think about this. What are you finding difficult? Let me put it to you. Most of you are getting paid 80% of your wages to sit on your backsides and watch daytime TV. There you go. I've said it. Over to you. Comics, comedians, writers, self-employed, we're getting nothing. Although we do have 80 packets of instant noodles in our cupboard. Dana is too scared to go for a big shop. Nice one, mate. Pat Taylor, I love. Thank you so much for coming along, Pat. If you need any tips on gardening or a little bit of salsa dance, Pat's your girl. Johnny Lucas, mate, tell us how's it going in Nashville? Is it panic? Is it The Walking Dead? Or are you guys just because Johnny Lucas is a country singer, so surely you're just writing loads of songs about she walked out and took my toilet roll. I don't know. Maybe it could be. I could write songs for you, Johnny. How many times have I told you that? It is difficult. These are very, very difficult times. Okay, we should be coming out of the fear zone where we now feel a little bit more settled into a kind of starting to embrace a bit of more normal now. Things should be getting a bit more normal. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. Okay, this is like week 3 for us. For America, it's probably hour 2. I don't know. What's happening in New Zealand? Maybe you could tell us how you guys are coping with it down there. Laura's still working. Anyone still working? Just let me know who's working, who's not. Hugh Wright has now decided to go against the comedy and just give practical advice. Let's just be sensible, follow the guidelines. Good point, Nick. Hugh. Sorry, Nick Clark's just joined, actually, who is Forrest Gump, I call him. He's one of the loveliest human beings ever. And this must be hurting you, Nick, so much to see people just not happy and healthy and loving each other. So what are we doing then? We're coming to this new stage where this is now our normal. So on day 1, we were going to clean the house. We were going to do the garden, going to throw out all our old clothes. Now we're in day 12 and we're drinking red wine for breakfast and not washed for days. What are we doing? Anyone got any tips you wanna share? Joe, actually, sticky back plastic Joe. I explained, sorry, Joe. Joe makes correct me if I'm wrong. When you see presentations in translucent protective adhesive surfaces, which are sticky backed and made of plastic. Joe, what are you guys doing? What are you done at your place? Are you still making it? Is it still not? Lee, the superhero, of course, still working, looking after Rhiannon and probably saving lives the rest of the time. Anyway, Darren, good point. Darren's in a wheelchair. So, Darren, how do you feel, mate? You're in a chair. Darren's on the at-risk. I was going to say on the at-risk register, but that just sounds a bit kind of. Let me start that again. Darren was one of those people who's not physically allowed out of the house for 3 months. Darren, correct me if I'm wrong. Although he has a garden that you can look at, but he's got so much junk in it, he can't go out. That's a yard, Susie, a yard. And of course, Rhiannon just upstairs in a 1-bedroom flat. Although Lee does put his cape on and fly around the block with her on his back, I dare say. What do you do? Yes, so Joe, you're doing a little bit of rugby practice for the Super League boys in the park. Could be. Wayne White, of course, who any women out there who are homeless, Wayne Jamag's got about 12 living in there. He's just one more and he'll be raided. Something going on. Susanna's still working. Eddie, of course. Eddie and Susanna, 2 comments, one after the other. My 2 longest serving friends. I say serving because they've had to put up with me. Eddie is looking for a good free program to do some writing on. If anyone's got any suggestions, I would suggest just doing like Word, really, and taking it from there. Hugh making a very good point. Not enough credit being given to teachers. Oh yeah, good point. Teachers, key workers. We don't. Would teacher Hugh? Would your missus be happy not being in a classroom? No, because teachers do love a classroom. Come on, they go to primary school, they go to secondary school, they go to university, they go back to school. They lost school. Come on, teachers lost school. If she's not working, Hugh, you're going to put a little non-sexist notice board in the kitchen for her to use a non-markable piece of granite or chalk. Can you say chalk? I don't know. It's interesting. Nick's suggesting that what you do is you make a list the night before and give an allocated time for each item on your list. Which, yeah, I think it sounds good in practice. But what happens if you can't sleep? Lots of people not sleeping. And if you're not sleeping, you're more likely to get stressed and tense. And if you're stressed and tense, you're going to get snappy with the missus, with the kids, with your same-sex partner, with whoever is in your proximity. I just got to stop for a second. Peter Grant, mate. Thank you so much. Peter Grant, one of the greatest singers. Johnny Lucas, mate. You got a rival in my heart here, mate. Peter Grant, his album's superb. And he'd probably let me write a song with him, wouldn't you, Pete? But Johnny Lucas in Nashville, Tennessee, still hasn't given me the okay yet. Tony Hayes, thanks for joining. Joe O'Brien's wife is now my favourite wife in the world. She's now pretending she's the Google voice. That's just cheap. I love that. Hot news off the press in the world of sticky back plastic. Apparently, Joe's company are now selling anti-slip floor graphics for the NHS and supermarkets. Well, I don't know what that means, Joe. What are anti-slip floor graphics? Is that graffiti on the floor? Ria, thanks for coming along, mate. What I'm trying to do is intersperse my little boring bits with seeing who's in the box talking, really. So, Hugh suggesting to get to good night's sleep, listen to radio comedy. That's interesting because I find if I listen to things before I go to sleep, it stimulates my brain and it makes it difficult for me to sleep. I think that for me, there's got to be a little bit of a winding down. When you've got little kids, you want to put them to bed, you don't give them a coffee, let them watch a horror film, and then say goodnight and expect them to drop off. Why do we think as adults we should be any different? Got to get a little bit of routine going, really. So it's about making sure that your room is the right temperature. For me, that's 17 degrees. For her, that's between 45 and 52 degrees. Because she can't sleep unless she's actually inside a volcano. Which does make things a bit awkward. So we play a little game in the bedroom. Tires us out, think you know what I'm talking about. It's called Find the Thermostat. So she'll take it and then she'll put it up to 40. Then I wait till she goes to sleep and I take it and then I put it up to 17. Then I go to sleep and she wakes up. And this carries on for a couple of hours and then we just both go to sleep in the spare room. So it's pretty cool, it works for us. You've got to get that good night's sleep though. Coffee, really, stimulants, alcohol. If you're drinking ain't gonna make you get a good night's sleep, believe it or not. It knocks you out for a few hours, but you're not getting that lovely REM. Is everyone having these amazing dreams? I've been having the most ridiculously incredible dreams, ranging from one night I managed the All-Ireland Under-16 Irish dancing troupe, and we lost in the World Championships to the Russians who cheated. There's no way, two of them were under-16, just telling you that now. Another night, my eldest boy, he got signed by Maccabi Haifa, the Israeli football team. Because of his union work, it meant that he was going to have to resign as chairman of the trade union branch. So he basically would come to my house, and at the bottom of our garden was an escalator which took him to Tel Aviv, where he played football. I'd go and watch him in his blue and white striped shirts. And then he scored a penalty, actually. It was a great game. Then he'd come home and go back to his own house. What I'm saying here, right, is I'm losing it too, but in a different way. That's all I can tell you. Val is telling me about Ozark. Anyone watching Ozark? Any good? Not sure. Again, we've got to stop to go to the box. Susanna is getting a shed to put her son in. What are you? That's my boy. What are you doing? But not literally my boy. He's my godson. Can't do that. He's 21. He wants to go in the shed. You've got to stop. You know, it's time we sorted something out with language. Okay. Like you know, this whole thing about he him or you're she her or you're how you define yourself is how you define yourself. It's about time we stop calling them sheds, you know? A shed is just somewhere we stick stuff, right? I have a man cave, okay? A man cave. And in my man cave, I've got stuff in a shed. Shed's a dumping ground. It's a man cave. When I go to my man cave, I've got my chair in now and my rusty tools. I need 72 screwdrivers and I need like 15 saws. I've never used them, I'm not going to lie, but one day, you never know, do you? Rosie Bear, thank you. Sean Percival, oh my goodness. Sean Percival, ladies and gentlemen, if I can get some thumbs ups in the box, please, for Sean Percival, who is using the worldwide interweb, probably for the first time knowing Sean. Sean, welcome to the 21st century, mate. I'm so proud of you. I don't know what to say, mate. It's not really me. I'm on the telly, but it's not a telly, mate. Don't worry, it'll make sense soon. So, for those of you who just joined, just to recap, I'm going to stop again. I'm sorry if this is frustrating. Isabel, my favourite nurse in the world, has just arrived. Isabel looks after all the people who died in hospitals, but more importantly, looks after my baby boy, who you may have heard was recently playing for Maccabi Haifa in my subconscious. Anyway, so we've done the breathing. Just to recap, just remember you breathe in, you breathe out twice as long as you breathe in. This will help your stress. So you breathe in, breathe out. It's quite simple. Do this quite often. Another really good thing that you can do if you're feeling a little bit stressed is make a little bit of me time, okay? You take your shoes and socks off. You're going to stand in the garden if you've got a garden, or take your shoes and socks off, stand on concrete. You need to get earthed. What happens is if you ever open a door and you get that static, that static is caused by all the buildup of electricity in your body, and you need to earth it. So if you do the breathing and you do the static, then these are things that are going to help you, because one of the things you're doing is just making time for yourself. So stop it again to go to the box. Very important. Cousin Hillary, thank you for coming. Steph has a woman cave. Steph, you're going to excite all the men again, mate. Gareth Berliner, thanks for coming. Very entertaining live cast Gareth does during the evenings. And of course, Professor Harris. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, if you all look in the box, you'll see Lenny Shinehead Prosper, my brother, has turned up. Last week, this guy was in intensive care with an oxygen mask on with coronavirus. Honestly, Lenny, if you want to put a comment in the box just to tell him that I'm not making this shit up. Excuse me for that language in America. But Lenny has had coronavirus and he's come through it. Hopefully, he's going to thrive and survive. If nothing else, having been there, he has now got, hopefully, immunity. Professor Harris, our top-ranking medical person on here, if you can let us know if Lenny, having had coronavirus, means he has immunity, if that can help. Cousin Marie just turned up. The Timkins, mate. Emma, nice to see you. So Lenny, put it in there. Just let us know. Are you alive? Are you still feeling good, mate? Put it in a box so everyone can see. Joe, oh my goodness, Joe Osmond. Oh wow, I've been following your career from afar, mate. Good to see you. Nick, thanks for coming. So Lenny had coronavirus and he's got through it. Without Rhiannon's Lee. Can you believe it? It just shows, you can do this. But Lenny's now got immunity, so if anyone needs any shopping, Lenny, you can go and do it for you because you can't catch it twice. Anyone, you need anything at all, get onto Lenny. He'll go and get it. He's going to be your man. But it just goes to show you can get it and get through it. So obviously, regardless of your political views, our Prime Minister is now going through it, and we wish him all the best, regardless of your political views. Come on. And Lenny's got through it, but he did have the help of half the Caribbean and 3/4 of Northeast London and Essex praying for him and sending him Sarel and amongst other things and loads of other stuff. So Lenny's just saying he had COVID-19 and pneumonia, and now he's going to make sure the rest of his life counts. If you knew this man before he had coronavirus, I don't think you can get any more out of his life, to tell you the truth. But Eddie then saying they're not certain you can't get it twice. Just well done, Ed. That's very positive. No, good point, Eddie. Good point, mate. But the point is, right, the thing is that Lenny's got it and he's gone through it. That's not to say we can all survive and thrive, but he's done it. So I think the problem is that we all think we're going to get it, we're going to die, when really, with the right treatment and the right early intervention, we can get through it. Now we've got 4 nurses, if we, sorry Steph, do you disservice there, 4 nurses in our chat box. If any of the nurses want to give us any tips on what we can do with regard to prevention or how to deal with coronavirus when we get it, please post them in the comments there. And then maybe we can print them out, and Jo can cover them in her translucent adhesive plastic coated sticky matte plastic. So what are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? How are we going to take care of ourselves? Well, there's got to be things, isn't it? Pete Cheno, thank you so much, guys. If you get a chance on a Sunday night at midnight UK time, go to Pete Cheno. He's just joined. He's himself and his beautiful missus do a gig. It's a music gig from their front room. I think it's their front room. They're in, where are you, San Diego, somewhere like that. Yeah, so go and watch it. It's fantastic. The girl's got a voice, mate. Woo! And Pete's voice is very good as well, because obviously it's now the 21st century. I'm a modern man. I'm not making any comments on people based on their appearance. And my shed is no longer a shed, it's a man cave. Anyway, moving on. Lenny's saying, get away from the media, guys. Positive mental attitude is paramount. Lindsay and Pete just joined, missed out on the fact Lenny's had the coronavirus and he's now recovering. He's coming through it. So, Joe O'Brien making a good point there. Comedians have a higher immunity from all the self-loathing and bombing. Brilliant. I love it. I love it. Louise Clayton, thank you so much for joining. So, you know, Steph or Izzy, Susanna or Professor Harris, if you can put a comment in our box on what we're going to look out for, or correct me if I'm wrong. But it's flu-like symptoms. I don't know what that means, flu-like symptoms. You know, what? It's like a cough. It's like a cough, but it's not a cough. That's like my mum used to buy me these trainers, right? They weren't Adidas. They had 4 stripes from Woolworths. And she'd say, they're like Adidas. So anything that's like something, no, I don't trust it. Steph making a great point there. Download the COVID-19 app to help King's College and Guy's and Tommy's study the symptoms and how the disease is spread. And of course, Tommy's, obviously, is where Boris is currently residing, being taken care of by our NHS. Little big ups for the NHS there. I'm sure Boris will appreciate them even more when he comes out. So Lenny Lazarus, I think it should be, because he's back from the dead after his corona, selling off vials of blood, wholesale reductions. Good man. Don't miss an opportunity. Don't miss an opportunity. Steph is saying that loss of taste, very common symptom in COVID-19. Now, the problem with that is, Steph, that a lot of the men on here are over 40 and we lost our taste years ago. Really? Look, see this purple top I'm wearing? I love this. And the amount of times I've had to rescue it out of the bag, which she's accidentally put it in the recycling bin. So, not good. Susanna's saying coughs and fevers, and some lose a sense of smell. There's times when we could all do the sense of smell lost, though, isn't there? If you had to give up one of your senses, what sense would you give up then? Anyone? Sense of smell? Have a little think. Have a little think. Basil, Basil's nephew has started a 3D printed PPE shield. Okay, how does that work, Basil? Give us some more details, mate. It's a group that gets together. Anyone who has access to a 3D printer and can print visors off to a pattern for the frontline NHS. Okay, if you could check out the group, what's the page? The page is called 3D Printed PPE Shield Help. What they want you to do is make, I guess, printed shields. Really, I didn't think that through, did I? It's harder than it looks. This, they're printed 3D shields to help fight the virus. But if I had a 3D printer, I've got to be honest with you, I'd start printing shields, but I'd end up just like making like willies and things. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Posting through neighbours' doors. I know. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Cousin Pat, where is he? He should turn up soon. He's got a 3D printer. He's always printing stuff. You go in his house and you say, "Look at that! It's a sprocket valve for 1952 Mercedes E-Type something or other." Nonsense. What we've got to do is, though, we're all finding our own ways. But it's nice. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We got to think about reaching out for each other. I've got to be honest. During this, I'm generally pretty antisocial. Although people who are friends, you know, me and Eddie have been friends for 40 years. You know, If I like you, I like you. But self-isolation ain't difficult for me because I don't really like many people. Um, so rather selfishly, when Lenny was suffering last week, Tash was going, you know, are you worried? I'm like, I only like about 4 people. Um, you know, as friends, close people that I'd see regularly. So what I'm going to do? Then I thought, oh man, I'm going to have to interview someone to fill his gap, and you know, it's hard when you start facing death. There was a time when I used to go to a lot of christenings, and then there's a time I went to a lot of weddings, and there's funerals. I'm like, oh man, I like funerals. Can't someone just have a summit? Let's have a Zoom party. And I was going to say celebrate Lenny coming out, but I don't know if he's happy for people to know that kind of that kind of thing. Coming out of hospital, I mean, honestly. Yeah, so Steve McCann has had a great idea. Sorry, it says Basil's had a great idea with that. That's very, very good. Steph's mate is releasing the first batch of hand sanitizers next week. Ooh, very nice. Lenny's saying he had none of the symptoms, just a tickle in the throat. Keep checking your lung capacity. Now then, I can do this bit. Len, that was really good, man, because I've got it written on a bit of paper somewhere here. Yeah, it's on this one. That, yeah, I've got it written on this one. So, this advice comes from a top respiratory consultant at King's College. What you need to do, Alex, thanks for coming. Good time for you to join in, mate. What you need to think about doing, so you basically need to increase your lung capacity. And the way we do this is we take 5 deep breaths in and hold each one for 5 seconds. So you literally go, okay, you do that 5 times. And on the 6th time, you cough on the last one. You cough. See, I coughed into my elbow there. Even though there's only me in the room, coughed into my elbow. Anyway, you do that twice, all right? And you've got to do this twice. And then you lie on your bed face down. Okay, you lie face down on your bed and you breathe in deeper. Okay, you breathe in for about 10 minutes, slightly deeper than usual, because the majority of your lung is on your back and that you need to open that out. So what you're doing is by lying on your stomach, you're opening out your lungs. By taking in them deep breaths, you are kind of helping your lung capacity. And as Lenny said about keep checking your lung capacity and working on your lung capacity, don't touch your eye. As Lenny said about, I'm so juvenile. I could have just. She's telling me not to touch my eyes, so I've deliberately touched my eyes. That's why I can't go out there. I have to socially isolate because I can't help myself. Yeah, do you like the way I did? I dabbed it, Gav. Nice, isn't it? So basically, what we're doing, I'm touching my face now. I'm so self-conscious now. What we're doing is increasing our lung capacity. So you take your deep breath. Okay, you take 5 deep breaths, holding each one for 5. And you breathe out. You do it 5 times. On the 6th time, you take your deep breaths. Cough it out. Then do it twice. It should make you feel lightheaded. You go and lie face down on your bed for about 10 minutes and just breathe deeply. And what you're doing is you're opening up your lungs, right? Because a lot of the problems with the COVID or corona is that you are getting respiratory disorders, and that's where it comes from. Yep, going to pass that comment then. Nice thought though. Jake Campbell, wow man, I haven't spoken to you in years. Joe is saying, how can you be watching yourself? Joe is now to... Joe, you've turned into like some middle-aged Irish woman. Like, how can you be watching yourself? Ladies and gentlemen, very honoured, Davey Johns has joined us. Davey, thank you so much for coming along, mate. We're talking about all things corona, COVID, little things about we can do to help our mental health and our physical health. And talking to Lenny, who was just come out of hospital having kicked ass out of coronavirus. He's now on the way back. So he will be selling vials of blood. That's all you've missed, really, and me touching my face when I shouldn't. Anyway, so good point there, Joanne. Sorry, Rhiannon. Rhiannon said to Joe, you can watch yourself by looking in the mirror. And one of the things that people can do if they're living on their own, I know it sounds daft, it must be so hard. If you're living on your own, you've got no one to talk to, no one to bounce off, no one to work off. What do? You know, we all condemn social media, but you've got your FaceTime, your WhatsApp, you got your Facebook, you got your MySpace probably. I don't know anything about it. But it's not like it was 30 years ago. If you self-isolated, you self-isolated. This was always the toughest time of the year for me because my mum was a devout bigot. And so Easter, we couldn't have the television on and you had to go to church every day. Now, if you want to know about hardship at Easter, I reckon, yeah, I reckon I'm up there with JC himself. He had a tough time, but, you know, he got 3 days in a cave. We didn't. The closest we got to a cave was the cupboard under the stairs with a gas meter. Anyway, but, so social isolation, a lot easier now than it would have been 15, 20 years ago. But it's difficult still, isn't it? It's difficult. Last Thursday, when we went and gave our round of applause for our NHS workers, my neighbours either side came out. It was lovely to see them, and we talked to them quite a lot. But I don't know the people 5 doors away or people across the road. I like to think that after all of this, maybe it might make us a bit more sociable or a bit nicer. I don't know. I walk every day in the park and see all the dog walkers. Quite interesting enough. James King, thanks for joining. Herbie, of course, who not only likes dogs, but Herbie, put the link in, mate, so they can see your wedding. He had like 200 dogs at his wedding. It's fantastic to watch if you like dogs. Susie, I'm guessing you're going to love that. Susie Britt rather than Susie Stanton. But going for a walk, getting out, it's that lack of social contact. It must be so difficult. I've not seen another like human person other than Natasha for like 3 weeks, really. You know, not in close proximity. It's very bizarre. Ultimately, whether you're self-isolated, whether you're living on your own, whether you're living with someone, I guess you've got to be comfortable with yourself as well. And it's how do we become comfortable with ourselves? These are times of turbo anxiety, and anxiety is going through the roof because we're not meant to be isolated. Humans are social creatures. When they put you in prison, one of the things they do to break you, put you in solitary confinement. When you're at school, they put you in detention. Social isolation, being sent to Coventry. We're not meant to be on our own. We are tribal animals. So what do? If you start feeling anxious, like I say, you do the breathing. Breathe in, hold it in for twice as long. Sorry, breathe out for twice as long as you breathe in. I feel like I'm on a Sky News loop now. Sky News, the same news on the hour every 5 minutes. You breathe in for 5 seconds, breathe out for 10. It's easy. And I know it sounds daft, but you just do these little things. Take some time out. If you're living with someone, make some time out. So what we do, a couple of nights a week, we go out. I go to the kitchen. She goes to the front room. She has house party with her mates, and I go to the kitchen. I normally just do 1-to-1, really. I can't really do loads of people at the same time. Anyone else doing this house party nonsense? Because it's just such a wind-up. I just don't understand how it works. Seems to be that you go on a house party and then 3 drunk women, right, or Toria, Jen and Craig will turn up and just, I can't like listen to all of them at the same time. But is it a bad thing? Is it such a bad thing? Lenny's saying that he's noticed people are actually nodding and smiling. Why does a deadly disease suddenly make people polite? In all the kind of 30 odd years that I've been friends with Lenny, he's always smiling and nodding at people, which probably gets him into half the trouble he's ever been in his life. Because people are either like, oh, hello, or what are you grinning at? But yeah, maybe we can all smile and be nicer to each other. I'm not sure that that will be the case. I think that after the Manchester bombings, everyone thought, yeah, let's all be nice, and then went back to being normal. After the Caroline Fluck, was that her name? Fluck? Anyway, you know the girl I mean, took her own life. We had that whole hashtag be nice, and then everyone's going back to being horrible again. So I don't know if it's human nature to just being horrible. But it's springtime, so if you can get out in your garden, get out in your garden. Rhiannon, obviously, on the first floor in your flat, can't get out in your garden. I appreciate that. Darren, again, if you tidied your garden up, mate, you won't be in this mess, would ya? You know, it's all well and good having your wheelchair, but you didn't think it through. You can't roll around a junkyard. If you can get out in your garden or out into the fresh air, two things will happen. First of all, our bodies need vitamin D to help us break down toxins, and our liver especially needs that vitamin D. If you're not getting vitamin D, you're going to start having proper trouble. You can have aches and pains, you can get depression, you can get headaches, you get tension. For our, I don't know what word it is now. We've agreed that sheds are now man caves, and we recognise, you know, all types of life, sexualities, and genders. I'm never really sure what, like Len Wayne. What are you? Are you like, are you cousins? Are you BME, BAME, urban? What are you now? Help me. Anyway, you know, people of Afro-Caribbean descent. There you go. Which is all of us. We're all African at the end of the day. Just get a little bit politically correct before someone pulls me up. But for black people, as we used to call them in the old days, black people, you've got to get out there in the sunshine, guys, because your melanin is already protecting you more than you need in a northern European climate. So you need to get out there and get that vitamin D into you. Vitamin D tablets, Ed, good point. If Steph or Susanna or Professor Harris want to take this one on, why can't you just take vitamin D tablets? Obviously, because they're broken down in different ways, and natural will always be manufactured. That goes for everything, girls. When you can get the real thing, always get the real thing. Anyway, so you need to get out there, get your vitamin D, because when you're outside in the sunshine, you're walking, and as you're walking, it helps your circulation, helps your lymphatic system, your brain makes happy chemicals. It's just really, really good for you. Steve Watson, mate, good that you can join us. Thanks for popping along. Walking around, get that energy going. Lots of water. Water and sunshine, really good natural remedies for most things. And just keep away from just bad coping mechanisms if you can. I ain't saying don't drink any alcohol. If you saw our hallway, it looks like a bowling alley with all the wine bottles lined up. But moderate, you know, drink the water. Don't try not to drink too much if you're on your own as well, because it's a depressant. Alcohol is depressant, and I'm not saying don't drink at all, but alcohol, you know, it's a bit, you know, if you're on your own, you're drinking, who's going to see you singing karaoke in your pants into a hairbrush? What's the point? It's about trying to protect your mental health, really. Going to get anxiety, depression, if you're not getting sunlight. Depression is like, not like, oh, I've got no money. Depression's a proper debilitating condition that will proper hurt you and cause you a whole world of issues if you don't deal with it when it starts. You need to be getting up in the morning and washing, brush your teeth. We had to talk about making your bed on Friday. Personally, I think don't make the bed. She thinks make the bed. So we compromise and we make the bed. But basically, in the night, your body's shedding skin and hair and feces and urine and semen and chocolate biscuits and bits of toast. And what happens then is that the bed bugs are having a lovely feast. And you get out of bed in the morning, put a duvet over, and it's all hot in there. They've had their feast, they have a little bit of nookie, make more bed bugs. There's a lot to be said for airing the bed. Opening the windows, again, letting in fresh air, positive ions. Steph, if you want to help me out on this one, mate. Steph's saying 15 to 20 minutes between 11 and 3 during sunshine months should see you through the winter. But it is a fair point. You need to go out, get that fresh air, get that sunshine. Mark Felgate has just joined us. Mark, whatever happened to that? Didn't you have a Camino dragon or some kind of dinosaur in your downstairs once? Anyway, It's about though. I wanted to think about one really like good positive thing to ask people to think about or to do or to not do, and I've decided that conspiracy theories, mate. Leave the conspiracy theories alone. If it's 5G that's doing it, and like they're putting the 5G cables in the ground, so they've got to make up a disease to keep us all in our house so they can plant the cables, and then the Chinese can watch us go toilet or whatever. You know, come on. I jokingly told a mate that this disease is being spread by all the people of Wuhan breathing into plastic bubble wrap, which Amazon then wrap all their gifts in. That's how it spread around the world. People pop bubble wrap and all that dirty air spreading. You know what? Rusty, what a time for you to join. I'm just talking about conspiracy theories, bruv. Rusty has just joined in the chat box. We've been friends since 1980, and he was back in 1981 talking about how they're going to put probes into us and all microchips in our arms so that when you walk across the zebra crossing like a barcode, they're going to track your movements. And we used to laugh at him because he's only like 12 at the time. And he was right. You know, it's all about we are being tracked by our phones 24/7. So there's a lot of conspiracy stuff out there. But I'm sure, Lenny, your turn, when you was lying with an oxygen mask on your face, and what made me laugh, I'm hoping I'm not talking out of turn, Len. Lenny's lying in bed in intensive care with oxygen on his face, watching the news, telling him that everyone in intensive care is going to die. He must have spent a whole night just keep his eyes open, thinking, "Not coming." I did send him a message saying, "Don't walk to the light," but I don't know. But would it have helped, Len, if you'd known that it was the royal family of lizards, or it's 5G, or it's something to do with the royal family? What do you need? You know, if you're not well, you need vitamin D, your water, your sunshine. If you're starting to feel tense, do your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out twice as long as you currently are. Try doing that breathing exercise that I've told you about to increase your lung capacity, whereby you take a deep breath, you hold it for 5 seconds, then you breathe out. So do that 5 times. On the 6th time, cough into your elbow. You do that twice. You're going to lie in your bed on your stomach, take deep breaths for 10 minutes, and you're going to open up your lungs, because most of your lung is at the back. If you're lying on your back, you're flattening your lungs, you're not helping your respiratory system. Make your lungs work for you, okay? So, sorry, I just read Rusty's comment. Do that every day if you can, and you're just building up a bit of resistance. We're all going to pick up this virus and we're all going to develop immunity to it or not. But, you know, you can minimize the impact of it. Lenny's ended up in hospital because he's basically a slob who's lived on KFC all his life, right? Unlike me, who's looked after my body like a shrine in a temple. And I've got to be honest with you, Len, I've only ever been fat because I want to be like you, bruv. I want to be like you, mate. So Basil, don't forget, Basil, if you post on my page and if you stick in the comments box the details of your nephew's 3D printing thing, that's something that we should all do. Yeah. Joe O'Brien saying water is so underrated. Water is it is a bit of a cure-all. Do you remember back when we was kids? Who would have thought you'd buy bottles of water? But when I remember going to school journey to France and we laughed at them because they bought bottled water. They drank bottled water, and then the French girl kissed me. And it was the first time I kissed a girl who smoked, and it was like, "Ah!" Then she had a bottle of water. So I realised why they bought bottled water in France. Apparently, France is also where the myth that if you step in dog poo, it's lucky comes from. I just think they're lazy. I don't know. Lewis, mate, you turned up too late. What are you doing? I'm winding down there. I've peaked. You missed it. We've missed it all. Right, Lenny, what are you saying? I allocate certain times of the day to think about soft, cuddly stuff. What? What? When you was in hospital? Lewis, you don't know. Lenny's had coronavirus and he was in intensive care for a week, and now he's back to life and he's surviving and thriving. But still not as impressive as Rhiannon, my hero of the week, and Lee, the amazing Sidekick. Would we call him a sidekick, Rhiannon, or would we call him the reason to be? Jeff Meek, good of you to join us, mate. Thank you. Breathing is breathing exercise you can do anywhere, right? Because let's just get back to it. Our bodies are meat, we are animals. When we feel threatened, everything accelerates, okay? Everything accelerates. Our brain makes chemicals, our body makes chemicals, chemicals pumping. So everything accelerates because I think I've got to fight or run away. But there is nothing to fight or run away from here. You've got to be self-isolated. So you do the breathing, that will slow it down. There's also an element of just, I know it sounds a bit pretentious, but get it in perspective, you know. I appreciate the fact that I look and sound laddish, and that if I was 7 stone and had long flowing hair and wore a caftan and said, hey guys, what you need to do here is some breathing and stroke a kitten, okay? And some lentils, that's what you need, yeah? I can't do that. What I'm saying to you is, get your breathing, go for a walk, get your vitamin D, drink your water. I want to just briefly touch on, because a couple of the guys from the Dad's group, I'm a part of the Dad's group, right? I'm a bit of a dude, really, I ain't gonna lie. So on our Dad's group, some of the guys have joined us. Thanks for coming along, guys. What they asked me to do is to think about, because my kids ain't little now. My kids are grown, and I'm very proud of them. So I think I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, because basically none of them have killed anyone yet that I know of. But if they had, I would have helped them bury him anyway. So I'd lie. So I could be lying. I don't know. You got to understand, the kids, it's a very difficult time for kids. I know Joe's got a beautiful little girl, and Lewis, obviously, breeding like a good Catholic boy. Lewis, my son I would have had. It's hard. It's hard for the kids, because if the telly's on and they talk about coronavirus and people dying, and they don't know Lenny, so they don't know that people get it and survive. They're kids. They can't process it in the same way that we do. So try to keep that television off. Get rid of it. Don't let them kids be seeing all this negativity, all this conspiracy stuff, all this nastiness, dead bodies everywhere, okay? What you got to remember, and I'm going to be honest here, if you ever see videos and footage of like Serbia or the Rwanda or some of the camps from the Second World War, kids survive, okay? Kids are very durable. And old people, it's those of us in between, okay? But we survive if we take care of ourselves, and we've got to take care of our kids. Kids are going to be maybe a little more irritable. They're stuck at home. They're going to school every day where they get stimulated. They're chasing girls around with sticks. I don't know if they still do that. That's what we used to do. If they gave Claire a bubble gum, maybe they get to see her bits. Claire in our school used to do that. Sometimes you didn't even need bubble gum. But anyway, I wasn't oppressing her or using her or taking advantage of her, okay? I was the victim in that, because I couldn't afford bubblegum, so I never always got to see what Gary Malcolm saw, and that's rely on his description. To be honest, a lot of the time, I think he was lying. Anyway, my point is, kids, you know, they're at school, they're stimulated, they've got structure, they've got a routine. Now they're at home with Dad. You know, when do they see Dad? Weekends, a couple of hours in the evening, the grumpy bloke. The grumpy bloke they give the socks to on Father's Day, right? This is a bugbear of mine. On Father's Day, how many pairs of socks do I need? What am I, Caterpillar? But you're in the house with them, and you think you can talk to them like your workmates. If you're a manager, you manage the kids. You can't manage kids in the same way. So take time, talk to them, explain to them. It's not the end of the world. Not going to die. People in the Second World War thought they were going to die. People in the 60s thought the Russians were going to get them. In the 80s, I remember when the Russians went into Poland, being upset, and my dad just saying, it's all right, if there's a war, they'll need building afterwards, and we'll be in the right position to capitalise on it. So, you know, it's about reassure your kids. And when you're reassuring your kids, maybe you reassure yourself as well. Deep breathing. Leslie, again, what's going on with these Americans? It's home time, mate. It's home time. I'm running out of words here. Lenny, quick, put a comment in the box. Oh, yeah, sorry, excuse me for a moment. Leslie's in Cape Cod, wonderful people. Lenny that I was telling you about, he's on here. Lenny, say hello to Leslie in the box. Leslie, say hello to Lenny in the box. Good. So just to kind of recap, really, we've come out of our fear zone, what we called our fear zone, where we just grabbed everything, hoarded everything, stole everything. But why have they got more toilet paper than me? We come out of that now. So now we are into more of a kind of, what did I call it? I can't even remember now. Kind of embracing this kind of new normality, I guess, is what I'm suggesting. We don't know how long it's going to last. During the First World War, they all wanted the soldiers home by Christmas, but they never came home for Christmas. One day, this pandemic is going to be over, and I think we all know that STDs and alcohol problems are going to go through the roof when that happens. This is the beginning. We're at the beginning. You know, friends of mine in Italy. Susanna, is your family? Do you talk to your family in Italy? You've got to give us an update. But friends of mine in Italy, they're struggling. They're struggling. And someone I know in Spain, again, they're locked up. And here we're not at that stage yet. I've tried not to be too political, but I would like to say that what does annoy me a little bit is the fact that we're blaming everyone, but who should we be blaming? You know, there's people in the park. You know, there's people hoarding. There's people. Ultimately, and I go back to Lenny, when you're in that hospital, it doesn't matter who's to blame, mate. You've got the coronavirus. You've got it. What can we do to minimise it? Try and do those breathing exercises. I will post a little instructional video on my page later if anyone wants to look at it. If you're getting stressed, like I say, do the breathing. Breathe out twice as long as you breathe in. Or like I said, you could do the old Irish technique if you're feeling really stressed. Count to 10 on 7, punch them, they're not expecting it. Water, drink water, go for a walk, get some fresh air and some vitamin D, because we might get proper lockdown soon. And if we get proper lockdown, you're just going to be up downstairs, up and down the stairs. I think that, oh wow, I've just got a like from Curtis Walker. For those of you who like your comedy, please go and find Curtis Walker. Curtis Walker is, Michael McIntyre shouldn't be nowhere near the telly. Curtis Walker is one of the funniest human beings that you'll ever get the privilege or the pleasure to watch. If you can find where he gigs. So go, after this, go and find YouTube, Curtis Walker. If everybody does it, then, you know, tens of thousands of people do it. The man will be the superstar that he should be. So get your fresh air, get your water. At the start, for those of you who missed it, I did introduce Sean Durkin, Double O as I call him. Good man, good man. Made a really interesting point to me earlier. He was talking about when the guys are out on the front line and they're pooing in trenches and they're getting mortars fired at them 24/7 and they're coming under fire and lads are getting blown up and shot, and it wasn't their choice to be there. It's not our choice to have the virus. They didn't have the support that we've got for each other, and they weren't getting 80% of their pay to sit on their backsides on their couch. It's difficult times for the self-employed at the moment, but there's nothing we can do about it. I guess we're not going out, so we're not spending. Mortgages, if you can't pay it, you can't pay it. That's all there is to it. Run up a credit card bill. If you ain't got it, they can't take it. I know it sounds like, well, it's easy for you to say that. It is, because people on there, Lenny, Susanna, Eddie, Leslie, people who've known me, 25, 30, 40 years will tell you, I don't care, right? At the end of the day, all that matters is that you're happy, you're healthy, and that you make memories. And do that. Tomorrow morning, wake up and go, you know what? I may never get this opportunity for the rest of my life to have 2 months off work. Whether you can afford it or not, it's by the by. But we just got to see it as an opportunity. I know that sincerity doesn't always suit me very well, and anyone who knows me will tell you I'm no fan of the Tories. But I've got to be honest, I've had the pleasure to meet Boris a few times. Whatever you think of the guy, I wish him all the best. As everyone else with the virus, hopefully we'll get through this, we'll learn from it, and we'll come out the other side. I'm going to be back here on Friday night at 9 o'clock. If anyone's back, come and have a listen. If you do get a chance, like I say, go find Curtis Walker, because he's just a legend. Johnny Lucas, so good that you turned up, bruv. and it's nice to reconnect. Pete Sheno, go listen. Pete Sheno, look in the box, find his page. Sunday night, midnight. His missus just got an incredible voice, so go and have a listen to that. Gareth Berliner, he does a podcast all the time. His lunchtime one, when he cycles around on a unicycle, basically. So that's well worth a listen to as well. A special little mention to Simon McCarthy. Simon is part of the Coventry Irish Society, and those of you who know me will know how proud I am of where I'm from. And Simon is a beacon in our community. He does a lot of good stuff. Lewis Skins, good to see you. Guys, have a fantastic week. Please stay safe, self-isolate, keep your distance, drink your water, get your sunlight, do those breathing exercises. Hopefully see you on Friday night, or you'll see me really. Take care, stay safe.